everyone, welcome back to my channel. I've got another tutorial for you. If you're kind of an OG viewer, you might recognize this bomber style jacket from this video I did a while back on how I kind of self-draft my patterns, but I realized I never did just like a proper tutorial for you, and I'm market prepping and making another one, so I thought now would be a great time. So I'm going to be color blocking this, but you can obviously do what I've done in the past and just do one color. So we're going to be working this vertically in panels. So to start off, and this is going to be like a size, maybe like a bit of an oversized small, true medium. But to start off, I'm going to chain 70. Then I'm going to chain 3 more, do a double crochet into the 4th chain from my stitch, and double crochet into each stitch of the chain. Okay, once I finish my row, I'm going to chain 3 and turn. Now I'm going to do back loop double crochets just because I like that the slight ribbed effect gives a little bit of texture, but you can just crochet normally if you like. So I'm going to do back loop only double crochets. All the way down this row. Alright, so now that I've reached the end of row 2, you can start to see the ribbing form. So I'm going to repeat this for 30 more rows for a total of 32, and this is going to be the back panel. I'm going to repeat this exact same process for the front panels, chaining 70, doing back loop double crochets, but for 16 rows across. I'm going to do 2 of those. So 32 rows across for the back panel, 16 each for the 2 front panels. Alright, so now that we've got all our pieces made, I've got my back piece here and my 2 front panels, I'm going to stitch them together. For the neck, I'm going to go 9 rows in, and for the arms I'm going to go 36 stitches up. And you can do this a couple of ways. You can either slip stitch them, which is what I'm going to do, but you can also just get some yarn and a darning needle and sew them together. Either way will work. Alright, so once I've got my seams all sewed up, I'm ready to start the sleeves. And again, you can either, if you want to join as you go, which is what I usually do, you would join at the bottom of the armhole and chain outward to join as you go. Or what I'm going to do this time, and what might be a little bit easier if you're more a beginner, is to do it separately and then sew it on like I've done with this sleeve. So for the sleeves, get some yarn out here. We're doing these the same as the rest of the project. We're going to be doing back loop double crochets, but I'm going to start with a chain of 75. Just like we did before, I will chain an extra 2, do my double crochets all the way down the row. Then, like I said, we'll be doing back loop double crochets again for a total of 30 rows. Alright, so now that I've finished all 30 rows of my sleeve, this next step is optional, but it's going to make it easier, for me at least, to do the cuff. So I finished my row, I'm going to chain 1, and now come to the side. We're going to be joining the cuff as we go, so having a clean row to join to instead of the sides, I just think is easier. So I'm going to just make a row of single crochets down this edge of the sleeve, and I'm going to make 2 single crochets per row. You can see it's going to give us that nice clean edge to join the cuff to. Alright, so now that I've finished my row of single crochets, if you're going to be doing this all in the same color, you could go ahead and do the cuff now and then slip stitch the entire thing together, but because I'm going to be changing colors for the cuff since I'm doing color blocking, I'm now going to slip stitch all the way up this seam, and then I will sew this to the armhole of the sweater before we move on to the cuff. Alright, so for the cuffs, I'm going to be using back loop slip stitches. So I'm going to start right here at the seam I just made. Get my slip knot. I'm going to slip stitch to join right into the start of that seam. I'm going to chain 11. Make 10 slip stitches. Then to join as I go, I'm going to slip stitch into the next stitch on the edge of the sleeve that joins this row. Now to start a new row, I'm going to slip stitch into my next single crochet, flip, then back loop only slip stitches, to create the ribbing. If you don't like as cinched of a wrist, you can make the cuff with back loop single crochets. I just really like, because this is already so wide, how the slip stitches are really going to scrunch it. Then I'll chain 1, turn, and repeat all the way around. Okay, now that I've made it all the way around, I'm just going to slip stitch the first and last rows together to finish this up. For the collar and the hem, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a row of single crochets all the way around. Then I'm going to do back loop single crochets instead of slip stitches. So let me do the row of single crochets and then we'll come back. Alright, so once I have my row of single crochets, we're going to be doing the same process as we did for the cuff, but with back loop single crochets. So I have chained 6, and I'm going to do 5 single crochets. Slip stitch to join, slip stitch to start the next row, turn, and do back loop single crochets. So I'll do this all the way around the collar, and I'm going to do the same process all along the bottom. For the hem, I'm going to do a row of single crochets, but instead of doing 5 back loop single crochets for that ribbing, I'm going to do 8 instead. So you'll start with a chain 9 and then do your 8 single crochets.